This land it's about 200 acres. The Jellybrand River runs right around it on two sides. It's mostly bush, it's mostly quite steep, but it's got at least 3 or 4, or you could even say 5 different ecosystems, major ecosystems on it, due to the variety of soil. Through the CMA involvement, we've been able to target what each different area, what its requirements are in terms of managing and maintaining the biodiversity in those areas. Part of the funding was for restoring the wetland regimes in some of the billabongs around here, and that involved filling in some of the drains that have been dug maybe 50 years ago. This is one of the rare parts of the Otways that have volcanic soil, so there are a lot of similar grasses and things that are shared with the volcanic plains. So this is the fence that we built with one of the first things we did with the CMA grant. It meant we've been able to protect this grassy woodland from cattle and grass seeds and things like that, so it's been really worthwhile. Working in partnership with the CMA, I think we're all on a journey together. We're all learning how to deal with different problems, but understand the landscape and the kind of complexly different, management techniques you need for various ecosystems. One of the major rewards, I think, for our involvement with the CMA has been that with them we can focus on improvements in river quality that we know will have important downstream benefits for urban populations, that be that Warrnambool or Camperdown or Terang. All those people that use the water from the Jellybrand River will benefit if we can manage to avoid using sprays to control weeds along the river. The two sisters from Sydney called Bradley sisters. Apparently there's some public land near them that was covered in weeds, and to care for it they just sort of, I think, had daily walks where they would do a little bit of work, and that approach, I think, over a long time, it wasn't sort of getting a contractor in to spray the whole lot. It was just doing a little bit each day. It gradually, they demonstrated you could sort of get on top of a problem like that. So on this property, what we've done is put some walking tracks in. We walk around the property, which at a walking pace, you're certainly observing the what's growing, and you see what animals are there, you hear the birds and all that, but you can also just notice if weeds are emerging. You can quickly just deal with them then and there. We've understood that that's the approach we probably need to adopt on the river, so we've put a walking track along there where we're trying to control or contain the Cape Ivy to the riverbank, and so stopping it spreading into the bush, and then you have this just a regular habit of walking around there and checking it.
Well, this is the infestation bit, and you can see that the path has been well placed to keep most of it on that side. So as we're coming through now, we're just like, here's a bit now that wants to get away.
Here's a bit
so
here.
So we're just pulling it back, trying not to get the nettles on our fingers, and putting it over that side, at least for starters. We're really protective of the river, and we really don't want to use any poisons if we can avoid that. So we're very open to any ideas on how to keep the weeds at bay and keep the forest and the plants regenerating without actually using very intrusive and water damaging substances. We have a lot of platypus in our river, but we do notice when there's a cloudy spill on the river, upriver for example, they've done a lot of logging, the river will silt up and we won't see platypus for a long time. So, and other things like that. We are concerned about the impacts on the river.
Well, you get good exercise too when you're out there and you hear the birds and it's nice, yeah. As long as you think, oh, no, I'm not going to finish this today, but by next year, and it's true, we see those results, you slowly think, oh, what was a big problem? It wasn't as big as you thought,